A very good evening and thank you for joining us here on the edition of the English News here on Rwanda Television. Let's begin with the headlines. President Kagame affirms that there is need to realize a lot that can be gained in having the Global South cooperation with the Global North. Radisson Blu Hotel and Convention Center, Kigali, treated embassies, government officials, corporate companies and individuals who are their clients to a cocktail Christmas dinner. On the international scene, French President Emmanuel Macron has welcomed US President-elect Donald Trump to Paris, where they have held diplomatic talks. My name is Olive Netin. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. Let's kick off the edition. President Paul Kagame affirms that there is a need to realize a lot that can be gained in having the Global South cooperating with the Global North. The head of state made these remarks on Saturday in the Doha Forum 2024. In a panel discussion on China's role in rising Global South, President Kagame affirmed that realizing the need for collaboration for mutual benefits is critical for a safe pace, matching with the essence of having a global order.
For global order, the purpose is to have global stability, which we don't have. So when you see these formations coming up, like BRICS, they are coming up as a result of the fact that there is no global stability in the sense as we should know it, where the balance is just in favor of the North. So the Global South, first of all, we also need to realize that there is a lot we can do that benefits us in the Global South. So, but we need to come together, we need to work together. And after that, we can even gain more by having Global South cooperate with the Global North. But the Global North has not been favorable to that kind of cooperation that creates that stability, that feels that everyone is gaining from that cooperation.
President Kagame also reiterates that unfavorable cooperation of the Global North mainly results in its misuse of strength.
We will not avoid geopolitical competition. That exists for a fact. And China being a part of that, I think presents a fair and a balanced way of competing. So the reduction of the misuse many times of the power held by the Global North, I think is very important, and China has been contributing to that in many ways. And for the Global South, those of us, small, big countries, we just need to work together and make sure that we are contributing our fair share to this global stability that the world wants.
Doha Forum is a global platform for dialogue, bringing together leaders in policy to discuss critical challenges facing our world and to build innovative and action-driven networks. Now to health matters. Rwanda FDA has attained WHO maturity level 3 for the regulation of medicines and vaccines non-producing, joining an elite group of 18 regulatory authorities worldwide and becoming one of the first 8 in Africa to reach this milestone. Emile Bienvenu, Director General of the Rwanda FDA, explains the significance of this achievement.
It's true that yesterday WHO announced that Rwanda FDA has achieved maturity level 3 following a series of assessments that were conducted since 2022 through October 2024. Achieving maturity level 3 means that the country has put in place a stable and well-functioning system for the regulation of medicines and vaccines. First of all, I have to mention that achieving maturity level 3 requires to put in place the required resources to build a strong and robust system. And this was already done by the government of Rwanda, and it confirms the commitment of the government of Rwanda to promote and protect public health. This is what it means at the first instance. Secondly, maturity level 3 allows the medicines and vaccines produced in the country to be eligible for WHO pre-qualification, which allows the products that are going to be produced in the country to enter the international market, international supply chain. It also means that other countries are going to start relying on our decisions, as we used to rely on some of the decisions that were taken by other countries. So other countries to rely on our decision means that the products that will be produced in Rwanda will again be allowed to enter this market where the countries will have relied on our decisions. Achieving maturity level 3 means that the doors for investment in the pharmaceutical sector and in the health sector in general is going to be open. The doors are open to investors coming from other countries, which again means that we will have more pharmaceutical companies opening their doors in the country for the manufacturing of pharmaceutical products, including vaccines.
Moving ahead to other matters, Radisson Blu Hotel and Convention Center Kigali treated embassies, government officials, corporate companies and individuals who are their clients to a cocktail Christmas dinner. Some of the clients have described this place as world-class.
My name is Tino Mutlowong and I work for Rwanda, and I'm the manager of product and ancillary development. So I work very closely with Radisson. So yeah, word or two, I would describe it as innovative and world-class.
Rob Kuchera, Complex General Manager, Radisson Blu Hotel and Convention Center, Kigali, reflecting on this year, says he is grateful to Rwanda government for making business possible amidst several pandemic crises, including COVID-19 and Marburg.
So this year, being post-COVID, and the growth year on year has been phenomenal, and we could not do it without the people in the room, the people we're thanking. It's appreciation dinner, and we're saying thank you. And even 2025 is looking to be a fantastic year. Even so, when Marburg hit the last quarter in October, we thought it's going to be disastrous. However, I must give respect to the Rwandan government, how they handled it, how they coped it. We recovered very well. So even with Marburg, we'll still finish strong. And 25 is going to be even better year. Obviously, we have all the embassies, we have government departments, we have corporate companies, we have individuals, we have even people that visit us regularly for Sunday brunch or in Fellini that mark us or come for breakfast. We even invite them, because without them, that's how the business works. Our clients and our partners are number one.
Moving ahead to other matters, this week the Rwanda Development Board participated in an international tourism exhibition held in Cannes in France, and the private sector representatives who attended the event described it as a significant opportunity for investment, particularly in the tourism sector. They also used the platform to showcase Rwanda's unique attractions and promote the country as a premier travel destination to international audiences.
Visit Rwanda is honored and privileged to take part in the flagship luxury travel trade show happening now in Cannes, France. It is the 23rd edition and perhaps the biggest to date in terms of delegates, attracting 10,000 delegates. We also have to say that we were excited to meet the media, the likes of The Independent, New York Post, Daily Mail, and so forth. We want to thank our partners, the tour operators, the organization of ILTM Cannes 2024. We also want to make sure that everyone understands that without the support of our leadership, we would not have been here. So we continue to work hard and smart towards making Rwanda the next and the biggest luxury travel destination.
To other matters, members of the RPF in Inkotanyi have reiterated their commitment to prioritizing the welfare and development of the population. On Saturday, women members took part in the elections for the Executive Committee of the Women's Council at both the village and cell levels. The elections for the Women's Council commenced at the village and cell levels. Candidates seeking election were given time to campaign. At the village level, voters expressed their choice by lining up behind their preferred candidate, while at the cell level, votes were cast by writing the candidate's name on a piece of paper. A 7-member committee was elected at each level. Members of the electoral committee expressed high expectations from those entrusted with leadership roles. They must put more effort into empowering women, including those at the grassroots level and those in other sectors, as well as developing our girls. There are also concerning issues within the community, such as divorce and early marriages, which need to be addressed. Additionally, the rising issue of drug abuse among young people must be tackled. This is why I emphasized the issue of divorce, as many challenges often stem from it. Wherever there is a woman, there is courage and strength. A mother is not only the heart of the home, but also of the society. We need women who lead happy lives, women in the forum who can help others fight poverty and empower them by creating their own employment opportunities. Cecile Uwamaria, head of the Women's Council at the Kigali City level, a council which is affiliated with the RPF in Inkotanyi, outlines the responsibilities of the members of this Women's Council. Our country has given women a voice, and it is essential that they make full use of the platform and opportunities provided. Women must work to build families free from all forms of violence, fostering educated and knowledgeable individuals, creating capable and safe households, and ensuring there are no street children. They must also fight against stunting, malnutrition, and other challenges hindering the Rwandan community. As the Women's Council, we play a significant role in striving to build the Rwanda we envision. The RPF in Inkotanyi encourages its members to actively participate in electoral activities beginning at the village level, recognizing it as the foundation of decentralized governance. RPF's members view this as an opportunity to strengthen grassroots structures, which will help safeguard national achievements and effectively implement the RPF's 2024-2029 manifesto. To other matters, the Centrist Democratic Party of Rwanda is urging its members to actively contribute to the implementation of the second phase of the National Strategy for Transformation, and this was highlighted by the party's leadership during a training session for its members held this Saturday. And Nora Gladys with more.
During this training, PDC members, including the youth, were encouraged to create new income-generating jobs to make a significant contribution to the country's development.
This is a big opportunity. This is a chance to know what is my contribution as young, as a Rwandan, as a member of the PDC party. We are also looking at Ndumunya Rwanda and the ICT. Artificial intelligence and ICT in the development of Rwanda. The implementation we have also to support. PDC, young leaders, representative of members from different provinces and districts, we are now here to see what are we going to do, what are we going to contribute within the implementation of what was being raised in the manifesto that we supported during the elections.
The chairman of the Centrist Democratic Party of Rwanda, Agnes Mukabaranga, emphasized that beyond development, members should also familiarize themselves with other important national programs, including unity and resilience.
This training was important, is quite important, because we have gone deep in the NST2, which is actually based on the President Paul Kagame manifesto. what are the pillars of this NST2 in connection with the Vision 2050, how it is articulated on important pillars: job creation, education, agriculture and wealth, technology. We have enjoyed stability, we have enjoyed security. We know how even the region, even on the continent level, President Kagame, and we consider that our unity is an important level. This topic is also have been tabled, so that Minubumwe can come and explain what is the current situation, what are the challenges, how can we contribute as PDC, and everyone contribution is important.
The PDC members attending this training were representatives from committees at the provincial, district and Kigali city levels. Enora Gladys, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Enora, for the details. Now to economic matters. Some citizens expressed confusion about how economic growth is measured, citing ongoing hardships and rising market prices. However, the government maintains that the country's economic growth aligns with efforts to improve the well-being of the population. We have more. Jessica Kamire, a business owner in Kigali, notes that her business has been struggling due to price fluctuations. However, others offer a different perspective, stating that living conditions are improving. Another challenge is lacking both money and clients. When you go to the market to buy things, it becomes even more difficult as you encounter fluctuating prices, yet you're still in need of money. That's when you truly realize how hard life can be, as people often say. Economic analysts explain that the compilation of economic growth indicators involves aggregating the overall gross domestic product figures, which encompass data from key sectors such as agriculture, industry and services. They further note that a country's economic growth over a specific period highlights economic progress among certain groups, while also revealing those who may have been left behind.
People must understand that this measurement is based not only on the individuals, but also on various institutions and the government. That's why as an individual you might find that your productivity wasn't as good as expected, but the country as a whole, especially those who are financially stable, has seen improvement. While many people focus on their personal situation, the overall progress is evident and significant.
The country's economic growth and the improvement in living standards were key topics discussed during a press briefing held on Friday by the Prime Minister, Dr. Edouard Ngirente.
People's welfare is not solely measured by the income they earn each day. It also encompasses the conducive environment the government provides for people to live in. For instance, when you take your child to school, do you use a road? Or are you passing through bushes? If you do use a road, is it asphalted or in another condition? Once at school, do they find a teacher and the necessary materials? Similarly, when you go to the hospital, do you receive care from a doctor or a nurse? All of this is part of welfare. Sometimes people equate good welfare with the income deposited on their accounts. But as the government, when we refer to the good welfare, we mean a comprehensive package. The growth of the country's economy goes hand in hand with the improvement of people's welfare. Significant progress has been made and we continue to do more.
The latest figures released in 2023 by the National Institute of Statistics indicate that Rwanda's gross domestic product was estimated at 16,355 billion Rwandan francs. This represents a 9.2% growth compared to the previous year. Additionally, GDP per capita increased to $1,040 in 2023, up from $1,005 in 2022. You're still watching RwandaTV News. Now to matters making headlines globally. French President Emmanuel Macron has welcomed US President-elect Donald Trump to Paris, where they held diplomatic talks. Trump was in France alongside other world leaders to attend the reopening Notre Dame Cathedral after a devastating fire in 2019. VOA has the details.
President, I just say it's a great honor for French people to welcome you 5 years later. And you were at that time present for the first time, and I remember the solidarity and your immediate reaction. So, welcome back again.
Thank you very much.
We are very happy to have you here.
Thank you very much. Very great honor. And we had a great relationship, as everyone knows. We accomplished a lot together, and the people of France are spectacular. I guess it's one of our largest groups in the United States, French people. And we respect them and we love them. Very talented people, extremely energetic people, as you know very well.
Yeah.
And it's an honor to be here. We had a good time together, and we had a lot of success, really great success working together on defense and offense too. And it certainly seems like the world is going a little crazy right now.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking about that. Thank you very much for being here.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
To more news, the U.S. Space Agency NASA is leading an effort to return astronauts to the surface of the moon and establish a routine presence on the lunar surface. VOA once more.
We are here to give you an update.
NASA Administrator Bill Nelson began his early December update on the U.S. Space Agency's efforts to return astronauts to the moon by emphasizing the complexity of the Artemis mission.
It's the most daring, technologically challenging, collaborative, international endeavor that humanity has ever set out to do.
Artemis 1, NASA's first step in returning to the moon, was an unmanned test flight in late 2022.
Splashdown.
When Artemis 1's Orion spacecraft returned through Earth's atmosphere, NASA staff noticed issues with the capsule's heat shield, meant to protect astronauts inside during the dangerous re-entry, throwing the reliability of the spacecraft and the future of Artemis in doubt.
Heat accumulated inside the heat shield's outer layer.
NASA Deputy Administrator and former astronaut Pam Melroy says NASA's subsequent study of the problem found a fix, ensuring the Orion spacecraft will fly future missions.
Our team did identify the correct root cause of the Artemis heat shield issue.
The first crewed moon mission, Artemis 2, was initially scheduled for late 2025 and would orbit but not land on the surface of the moon. Fixing heat shield issues and the re-entry trajectory of the Orion spacecraft is now forcing NASA to push Artemis 2's launch date to April 2026. Artemis 3, which plans to land astronauts near the lunar South Pole, is now scheduled for mid-2027.
The safety of our astronauts is always first in our decisions.
NASA Administrator Nelson underscored the geopolitical importance of ensuring the Artemis program can safely and reliably transport astronauts to the moon before China plans to land people on the lunar surface by 2030.
It's important in an area where we think there is such promise, the South Pole, primarily because of the presence of water, that we establish our presence there so that China would not be there and say, keep out.
Nelson also justified decisions to adjust the Artemis timeline despite a change in the presidential administration in January that could lead to further adjustments, noting the rockets for Artemis 2 are already being prepared for launch.
The life of the solid rocket boosters has a certain defined life. So we needed to get this thing going so we can stay on this timeline.
When Artemis 2 does launch, it could make history by sending the first woman and the first person of color around the moon. Future Artemis missions will increasingly incorporate equipment from commercial companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin. Kane Fairbaugh, VOA News.
And the story brings us to the end of tonight's bulletin, but before we leave, a reminder of our top stories. President Kagame affirms that there is a need to realize a lot that can be gained in having the Global South cooperation with the Global North. Radisson Blu Hotel and Convention Center Kigali treated embassies, government officials, and corporate companies and individuals who are their clients to a cocktail Christmas dinner. On the international scene, French President Emmanuel Macron has welcomed US President-elect Donald Trump to Paris, where they have held diplomatic talks. And that marks today's bulletin, end of today's bulletin. Thank you for joining us for today's broadcast. On behalf of the entire news production team, we wish you a restful weekend. Stay safe.